So I sent the email off, and I would say within 30 minutes, and my phone just starts blowing up. And you know, on iPhones, when you like it blows up, you can see like the area code and where it's come from. It said Stafford, Texas, and I went, no way. Okay, welcome back to the Pear Pod. My name is Sam Byers. Hope everyone had a good New Year. I put a post up on my LinkedIn. I think must have been a couple of days before Christmas, where I posted this picture. The picture is of me and Christian Guzman after we did a brand campaign for a company that I work for. I thought that it would be a good segment for the podcast. I think it would also be interesting. I think a lot of people in Ireland know Christian and know of his channel and have watched his videos before. So I think understanding how someone like me from Dublin managed to work on a brand campaign with him and head up a brand campaign with him be quite interesting for people who want to go into marketing, want to go into this space. So a little under 3 years ago, I started working for a company called BluMaan. I was brought in as an intern to kind of help out with visuals, help out with influencers, stuff like that. At the time, we didn't really have an influencer program, so that ended up kind of being pushed over to me to kind of head up, which was something I didn't specialize in. I studied in creative and digital media in college, so I hadn't studied influencer marketing or anything like that. And from starting there in 2017, if we fast forward to now, a lot's happened. If you watch a lot of fitness YouTube or a lot of fitness influencers in the YouTube space, you might have seen BluMaan advertised in some of their videos. We managed to make great strides in the last 2.5 years to kind of build an influencer program and a roster of people we work with and stuff like that. But that all started with Christian Guzman. So yeah, sit back, relax. This is the story of how I worked with Christian Guzman. So 2017, I've just finished college, degree in creative and digital media, and myself and my girlfriend want to travel. So we settled on Vancouver as a place to go, and I started looking for work out in Vancouver. One of the jobs I applied for was BluMaan. Who was looking for an intern for someone to help on their marketing team. At the time, I thought I'd be brought in to help with video content and with photo content, stuff like that. But as an intern, you can't really be picky about what you get involved in. You're going to have to be adaptable and motivated and be able to help in as many places as you can. So that's the mentality I went in with. Yeah, so I got the job. So essentially, I was tasked with helping the marketing team in whatever areas they needed help with. Just quickly, for people who don't know what BluMaan is a men's hair company specializing in styling products. It was actually founded by YouTuber Joseph Andrews, Joe, who is my boss now. One advantage I had when I went out looking for influencers was that our products are, and you take it as bias, take it as whatever you like, they are the best products I have ever used. I believe that a number of our products are the best in the market for that type of product. I can't emphasize enough the value in having a product that is top quality when it comes to trying to convince these bigger influencers to work with your brand. But yeah, so I started working, and we had a couple of little campaigns with Instagram influencers and stuff like that had been on board before I came. A lot of this story is going to come down to luck or being fortunate, but one of the absolute best things that happened to me working at BluMaan was that our target market was my age group, essentially me. We were targeting 18 to 35-year-old males. We were looking for channels that were heavily skewed towards men, and those men were aged between 18 and 35. I was in that bracket. So essentially, the question I was asking myself was, who influences me? Oh, whose endorsement do I value highly enough that I would actually be converted and go and buy that product? And that was the question. That's essentially the question. That's influencer marketing. I immediately thought about the fitness industry. The guys in that industry are typically quite good looking. Guys who go to the gym are typically more likely to look after themselves, more likely to use a hair product or a premium hair product like that. So I started looking at influencers in that space. Obviously, number one, top tier, Christian Guzman. He was about to start his summer shredding season for that year, and Nabil was down there. They were doing the big summer shredding in Stafford, Texas that year. Gonna be a huge deal. Christian's getting like 250 to 300,000 views a video, and he's pumping out a video every other day. So he's hot right now. He's as you guys know, like his brands were killing it, and his views were crazy. So at the time, he was at the peak of his powers, still at the peak of his powers, of course, but just so you guys understand where he was at the time versus a company like ours that hadn't worked with anyone of that size before. So I made a list. I had a long list of guys I wanted to work with. Christian was on there, Max Tuning was on there, Brandon Harding, Steve Cook, people like that. A lot of the guys we are fortunate enough to work with now. So that list has been broken down. Call me back, Steve. But yeah, top of the list was Christian Guzman. So as an intern, you have a lot of spare time. You get given like as an intern, you have to be a self starter. People aren't going to be, especially at something like BluMaan, a startup where there's a lot going on. A lot of people are doing a lot of different roles. People don't have time to hold your hand. So I started putting together an opening welcome email that I would send to influencers that would kind of stand out. Uh, this wasn't your typical like dear sir or madam or dear whom it may concern. This was going to be much more of a PDF like sheet that I was going to send out that I was going to send out to people. So when it came into their inbox, when they opened it, they'd be like, oh shit, someone's put some time into this, and oh, what the fuck is this? And so I've actually found the email that I sent Christian. I'll overlay that on the screen now, so you can see it's not a typical email. It's not an email really at all. It's just sent through email. Obviously, this is a custom piece. I've put this together purely for Christian, using the getting the photos offline, stuff like that. It shows the influencer that you're not just putting out a mass email to as many email addresses you can find. You have customized this for him. We want to work with you, not with people like you. We want to work with you. And I think for a first impression for a company, and obviously as the story progresses, you'll see why that was important, but turned out to be one of the best ideas I've ever had. And I want to emphasize this before I go any further. None of these things are like marketing tactics or things that I read in books or online. Most of this is common sense. I thought if I was an influencer and all these brands, because Christian, as I tried to emphasize, he's at the peak, like he's at the peak of his powers now. All the big brands want to work with him, and he only works with a couple. Do you know what I mean? Off the top of my head, he worked with Ghost. He obviously his own brand Alphalete. He worked with Movement, and that might be it. He had Gymshark before Alphalete, and that might be it. So these are like the brands he works for or works with are the way I can rattle them off to you like that. I couldn't do that with a lot of influencers, but because it's Christian and he only works with such a select few, that the validity of that for those brands in the eyes of the audience now, they're like, wow, okay, like Ghost must be a top tier brand if Christian's working with them, or Movement, stuff like that. If you can get Christian Guzman's sign off on it, and you know that he only works with brands that he really supports, that's a really powerful thing. So I sent the email off, and I would say within 30 minutes, I was sitting at my desk with Stephen, who's a coworker also on the marketing team, and my phone just starts blowing up. And you know, on iPhones, when you like it blows up, you can see like the area code and where it's come from. It said Stafford, Texas, and I went, no way. And I answer it, and yeah, like the guy you've heard in every YouTube video, like, hey, it's Christian Guzman. That's what I heard. Hey Sam, it's Christian here. I just got your email. Thank you for reaching out. Love to hear more about what you had in mind. I didn't have anything in mind. I didn't think he was going to reply. It's the first email of the morning. I've only had my first coffee, just setting up for the day. Anyway, I thanked him for calling me, and I asked if we could organize a meeting with my marketing manager and himself to talk about the campaign. He said yes. Hung up the phone, and euphoria, obviously, for a while, and people like the whole office is like, what? And like Stephen knew who he was. He was like, no way. So he's interested, which is the first positive thing. So what we do now is we make sure the most important thing for us is that he tries the product and he likes the product. I knew he was going to. I know his hair type. We have two products in particular that were going to be perfect for his hair. So we jump on a call, and he's very supportive. He's lovely. We explained that we'd be looking for a YouTube integration where he integrates our products into one of his vlogs. He's obviously very familiar with all this, works with a lot of companies like this. So he was like, okay, for a one-off integration, my cost would be blah. Obviously, I'm not going to say what it was, but for a channel of Christian size with the audience and the repeat viewership that he gets every day, obviously that's very valuable. And for a company like us who had only ever really done campaigns for like, you know, $500, $1,500 for like a really big one for a number of guys, stuff like that, this was going to be our biggest investment to date. So the call ends. We get his cost sheet in. I talk to our COO and our marketing manager, and I explained that I think there's a lot of value to this campaign. I explained that the truth and the biggest thing about influencer marketing, and something that you can't buy or learn, is experience and is trial and error. And a lot of this shoot, like I've had a lot of campaigns where we've done a campaign and we haven't seen much return at all for these big channels that you guys would know. And there's a lot of factors that come into that. And at the end of the day, it's up to me to calculate those risks and make the best decision I can. But if you look at it from BluMaan's side, here's this Irish guy who's come in, and within 6 months of being here, he's asking for us to invest the most money we've ever invested in a marketing campaign on this guy who makes videos on YouTube. Anyway, Christian gets the products, loves the products. comes back to us and is like, look, what do you want to do? After much back and forth and calculating and stuff like that, we figured out that there was a way we could do it. We talked to Christian and worked out a deal. The video went live. It got about 500,000 views, stuff like that. I'll show you the thumbnail. Thumbnail's still here. It's still up. And obviously I can't go into details and stuff like that, but it was very successful. And the biggest thing, or something that was as valuable as obviously getting traffic to our website and stuff like that, and Christian showing off our products and how they work and stuff like that, influencers in the fitness space now knew who we were, and now that we'd worked with Christian, I was starting to get emails. Hey, could I get some samples? Hey, could I try this out? Yeah, influencers are reaching out to us like mad, and like looking to get samples and stuff like that. So Christian had a real pull in that sense of having people who watch Christian who are also influencers are going, wow, okay, this brand work with Christian. I'd love to try this stuff out. And our products look great, and his hair looked great. He obviously gave a very honest endorsement of it, and his hair looked great after it. We had 2 products that suited his hair perfectly. So it was a great collab. It worked out, and Christian to this day still uses those products. You still see in his videos sometimes they're in his bathroom and stuff like that. So in all those aspects, a very successful campaign in terms of the influencer enjoying the product, still using the products to this day. That's what you dream about. Those are the perfect campaigns. So we're talking as a marketing team, and we're looking to try and get some new content for Joe's channel, the BluMaan channel, which was still going at the time. And I start thinking, how cool would it be if we went down and interviewed Christian down in Texas, and you both got haircuts and stuff like that. We've been doing a series like that with we did one with Gordon Hayward of the Boston Celtics, who's a fan of the product. So Christian would obviously be a great interview. His name gets a lot of clicks on YouTube. It made a lot of sense. So I reached back out to Christian, asking if we came down to you, could you give us an hour of your time for an interview? And he was obviously said yes, as usual. Him and Joe had been texting back and forth a little bit just about the space and stuff. So it seemed like a good idea. Christian was very happy to do it. So I organized a place to get a haircut. I organized some barbers. We actually used this apartment in downtown Houston, where we shot a little interview. The guys did a video. We got some more product shots with Christian using our stuff. So that's very valuable to us. He was extremely courteous. He gave us his time. He was energetic. He actually offered some value, and he let us in. He told us some stories, and that it's a testament to him with everything going on and with all the content he films. He still like rises to the occasion and performs for your videos and stuff, which is just, you can't ask for that. It's kind of an unwritten thing, but the fact that he did it is just testament to him, I guess. We also did a video with Christian's friend Max Tuning, who we still work with now, who's a great friend of the brand. And so we ended up shooting 2 videos on the same day with 2 big influencers that we were going to be able to repurpose, which is very valuable to us for the cost of a flight down for myself and Joe and an Airbnb for a couple of nights. So this was another big thing for me. The first trip I'd ever organized, and for a business trip essentially, where we went down and shot something that was my idea and organized by me. Little did I know the project that was coming up after that. But yeah, we went down and we shot them, and it went great. And while we were down there on a night out, Christian was talking about the summer shredding that was coming up, and he was talking about people that are sponsoring it. And it kind of clicked to my head straight away. I was like, man, why don't we go to summer shredding as a sponsor and bring our new sample jars that we had just come out with, the Discovery Kit, which is like a little half ounce jar that gives you like a sample size amount of the product, which is perfect for like gift bags or expos and stuff like this. So reached out to Christian, who directed me to Ashley, who's like his head of operations, and she told me the deal with getting that done and what we'd need to do. And yeah, I went to the team again, and I was like, guys, I got another one. I think the entire team, or myself and the marketing team, should go down to Texas, sponsor the summer shredding event, educate people about our product, how it works, offer haircuts to the competitors for free, and be there on the day giving out samples to everyone who goes and all the other athletes and stuff like that. Again, the BluMaan team, like, testament to them, and such an advantage to having a younger company. It's just that the openness to new ideas and the quickness they can show in changing direction or trying to track down an idea and stuff like that is it's so valuable to me. And for someone who works like me, whereas I'm quite impulsive, and when I'm like, all right, let's do it, this could work. Having people that give me the leash to go and do that is so valuable and it's so important. So testament to you guys. So we went down with about 1,000 of each product, which was about 6,000 jars. We set up a little stand in the meeting area, and the day was, honestly, it was a complete success. And obviously to be able to meet influencers who are also in the space, and obviously friends of Christian, for them to be able to be like, to be able to shake my hand and be like, okay, so you're BluMaan, you're the guy on the other side of these emails, was so important. And I didn't understand that at the time, how valuable that is, to not just be another faceless email popping up in a box, to be like, oh, Sam is emailing me. And that now has led to me having a great relationship with these influencers. And down the line now, working with those guys still, our working relationship benefited so much from meeting like that and being able to shake hands and talk a little bit, you know. So yeah, those are the kind of things you don't think about at the time, but you understand after, are so valuable. We took videos of everything, so I'm actually going to run some video over the top of this so you guys can kind of see what each day looked like. From cutting the athlete's hair beforehand, the day before, to actually the event itself, and actually meeting the audiences and people coming up and giving out samples to people. But yeah, it was some day. We didn't actually get to see a huge amount of Christian on the day, purely because he had so much to do. He was hosting the event. He was meeting all the athletes. All these athletes are inspired by Christian and are begging for 5 minutes of his time. So we didn't get a huge amount of time with them on the day, which was fine. That wasn't what we were there for. We were there to educate people about our product. Essentially, that was the opportunity we saw. But he didn't stop all day, man. He was there before we got there, first thing in the morning, to set up. He was the last one out the door himself, and his dad were like the last ones to leave, and they went to an after party after we all went home, went to bed. We were exhausted. And looking back at that event now, we've done some more events since then, purely based off the success we had at Summer Shredding and the value we saw in someone being able to ask questions about our products to us face to face, and let us know some of the issues they have with their own hairstyles, or the issues they have with their whole hairstyling experience, and being able to help. It's something that a lot of companies never get to do, because just so you've such a big target audience now, and the world is so accessible online. Actually being able to stand in front of someone and answer some questions on a product is rarely happens. But based off that, we saw the value in those live events, and we actually did a product launch event in LA, which was another big success for our Ascend Volume Cream, which, again, having people trying out our products in person and experiencing in person is just very important to us, where in a company where education about the product is as valuable as awareness of the product. Since then, we've gone from strength to strength. We're starting to branch out into other areas of YouTube and other industries, and trying to market to there. But the fitness industry, the men's fitness industry, was the first one that we targeted. And I think since then we've really taken over that market. I hope some of you have seen our integrations on some of your favorite fitness influencer channels. If you have, then I'm doing my job right. But I want to emphasize that all the things that went right for me, or all the things that we did on these campaigns, were not things that I learned in college. As I said, I don't have a degree in marketing, anything like that. These were common sense things that made sense in my head, and as a result have obviously bared some fruit for me. The biggest piece of advice I can give to anyone that is working in influencer marketing or marketing in general is understand the influencer you're working with, understand their value, understand how valuable it is to be endorsed by an influencer to their audience, you know. And being aware of what Christian was doing and being aware of Summer Shredding and stuff like that allowed us to ensure that we took every opportunity that we had in making the most out of this integration. And I think that's what we did. I think a single integration turned into us building a network of other influencers, and being able to meet those guys and educating an audience about our product and hearing their problems. That's so valuable to us, as people telling us what their issues with their hair products are and what we could do better. And that all came from that email that I sent to Christian. So finally, I want to say, Christian, if a huge thank you to you for being as open as you were to working with our company. I know if you look at it from Christian's perspective, he didn't need us. He already has his own companies that he's working with, and he has little time as it is, you know. But at the end of the day, he valued you guys as an audience, and he saw potential for a product that you guys would love and people will get value out of. And that's what influencer marketing should be. Will our products bring value to the audience that receives it? So yeah, that's my story of how I started to work with Christian Guzman. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to hear more of these stories, I've loads of these influencer stories and the lessons I've learned throughout the years. If you guys want to hear them, I'm happy to do it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, shit like that. I'll see you next time.
So let's take it back to the concrete streets. Original beats with real live MCs. Playground tactics, no rabbit and a hat tricks. Just that classic rap shit from Jurassic.